what superpower would you like then?
I came up with one. I'd be bullshit man. There's so many meetings going on where you know people are bullshitting. I'd just like to walk in, I wouldn't need a special costume, just dress like this. And I'd fly in, I'd go bullshit. You're talking bullshit, and they'd go, oh, it's bullshit man. And I go, yeah, it is bullshit man. You're talking bullshit. And eventually, people would stop talking shit.
That could take off. I quite like... I mean, I know you said you didn't want a costume, but if I could get a little costume for you, what colour would it be?
I don't need a costume.
No, but you don't need it, but if I got one for you, what would it have?
No, I don't need all that, because that's just wasting time.
That's more bullshit.
How do we know you're bullshit? How do we know you're bullshit, man?
Because I flew in.
So you can fly. So your superpower is saying bullshit, but you can also fly.
Yeah, but also, people know if I've said it's bullshit, they know they were talking bullshit.
Yeah, but wait.
That's my superpower.
No, your superpower is surely flying as well. You didn't...
We can all say bullshit.
No, the flying is necessary because of the amount of bullshit that's going on.
But if you could fly...
But if I can't fly, how am I going to get a... There's loads of bullshit. What are you going to do? Keep jumping in a cab?
No way.
I'm going to be busy all day.
I haven't invented this. It's not my fault you can or can't fly.
No,
calm down.
I know, but I'm saying if it was my superpower, I'd want to fly in.
Yes, my point...
And I don't want a costume because I'd be constantly wearing that costume because of the amount of bullshit that's being said.
Yes, I understand that. So your point is this. Everyone can tell bullshit, but you need to fly to get there quick and get it out in the open.
Can it quick.
Yeah.
Someone starts spouting
How can you hear them? So you can also be super hearing as well. Yeah. So you can... Hold on, so wait a minute, right. Can you see where they are? Or can you just...
I'm just hearing it.
So if there was a meeting, right, going on in Leeds now, and there was a bloke going, well, if you invest in this company, if you give me 1 million, I can guarantee you will make an extra $1 million by the year, and I will double... I hear you. Double your investment in 1 year. What?
Bullshit! That's how it would work.
You can see how...
I know, because honestly, that's years and years of people spouting it.
Yeah.
Meetings, ever since being neck-high. It's like, that's all you ever hear.
Okay, but how would you
programmes, in X Factor, honestly, X Factor will keep me busy.
Okay,
Just the amount of shite that is being told to people in that, and all that crying, that'd be the next one, I don't know what I'd call it. That thing when girls do that now, I don't know where that's come from. When they're getting a tear coming on, they go like that. I want to fly in. Fucking stop doing that.
Yeah.
What are we doing then? Just explain, we just done a photo shoot for Shortlist. That's why I've got a little bit of eyeliner on. But it was worth it, because Carl had to dress up in tights and knickers, didn't you, and a lion?
Yeah. Not even mine. Well, they wouldn't be mine. But a woman had to like lend me her tights.
Brilliant.
Amazing,
Well, we're going to do this. This is Mr. and Mrs. basically.
Right.
So I'm going to ask a series of questions of Carl. Quite a simple question of favourite film, favourite food. And Ricky, I want you to write down what you think the answer, Carl's answer, is going to be.
Yeah.
So hide it from Carl.
Exactly, yeah.
And then
That's saves us leaving the room or going to a little booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Carl, you'll reveal the answer. Ricky will reveal the pad.
Yeah.
Right, I can see that.
So don't answer straight away.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
The first one is, what is Carl's favourite film?
Well, I'll tell you what, before he says anything, I'll have to put it down to 2, because I reckon he can't decide between 2. Okay. So I'm gonna straight away, I'm gonna do that, and if I'm right, well, I shouldn't give anything away, okay?
Carl, reveal what your favourite film, or indeed favourite film is.
He'll know what it is. It's Kez and Elephant Man.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you had to choose between the two?
Probably Kez.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elephant Man's just
Great,
sad.
isn't it? Yeah, it's great. I reckon that really affects you and your kid as well. And
Well,
it's sort of your it's very much what I imagined your upbringing.
Well, I had
to
a
be
magpie,
like.
didn't I?
Well, yeah, and
What was the magpie's name?
Maggie.
used to come down and peck his grifter.
And peck me head.
Watching The Elephant Man, you know that bit in The Elephant Man where Anthony Hopkins takes John Merrick or Joseph Merrick behind a screen, and he's showing it to a load of surgeons, and he's going, see the deformation of the skull, the spine, the limbs. The only thing that is totally normal and untouched are the genitals. Carl goes, think of that. The one thing you would want like an elephant, and he gets the head.
Yeah. Good film, that.
Right, next one.
We'll go for the next one.
I think we're talking about a meal, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What, an actual main course?
Yes. Well, I mean...
You're not going to know this.
Well, I'm gonna put to get me. Okay, I've gone for something sort of like a specific, but that gives me a bit of leeway. So I could be totally wrong here.
All right, Carl, please reveal.
And you mean one for at home, not going out, because if I go out, I make more of an effort to have something that someone's had to do some effort with.
No, do you think like yeah? I've done it like it would be a meal that he could do himself as well.
Right. Okay. Sausage, beans, potato cakes.
Oh, I've got it wrong. I thought you were meat and two veg. I've put sort of pork or lamb
No, I
chops.
wouldn't mess about making meat and veg if I was on my own.
No.
No.
What was
no
it?
way. Sausage, beans, potato cakes. Toaster, potato cakes, beans in a pan.
Remember,
sausage
I
in a
remember
frying
you put
pan.
sausages in the toaster once.
Yeah, but
Is that true?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
came
it
home.
was.
His girlfriend came home to him sticking a knife in the toaster to get the sausages out that were burning.
it's the way they spit, and
But why did you put them in the first place?
because I don't like when you've got them in a frying pan and then you turn that up and the heat gets going and they spit and then the grease is going all over the sort of the hob. So I thought do it in the toaster, let it spit on the inside.
Yeah.
Not as much mess, but yeah. It was ages ago though. You're saying that as if that's before I met you.
So if you're out and he does his sausages, does he pop them on the grill? Does he put them in the oven? Does he stick them in the toaster like a fucking twat? Oh yeah, I don't.
That's how you find stuff out though, isn't it? That's how inventors and stuff come about. Trial and error.
All right, we'll go for the next one. Carl's
I'm gutted about that.
celebrity. Oh, right, okay. Well, we've got this is 1 out of 2, so we'll go for the third one. Carl's celebrity crush.
Wouldn't have one.
What now?
Yeah.
I'm nearly 40. Do you mean a celebrity crush?
That's
Do one when I'm a kid or something.
that's
maybe.
the point. So this is not based on anything because he is, obviously he's never spoken about this or given any.
When
so
I'm
hold on, 40.
20 is still young, old.
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
let's say
sort of 14 or
for
something.
15. So hold on, when were you born? 72.
72.
So we're talking 84, are we? 1984. Janet Jackson.
She wasn't around in 84.
We've lost the pen and pad element of this straight away.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, weren't you around in 84?
No, it wasn't her.
Paula Abdul.
No.
You guys can know. So there's an answer. There is someone who at 14 you thought, oh, she's nice, and I've got to guess who this woman is in 1984. Debbie Harry.
No.
You don't know yet.
No. 84. Probably one of Bananarama. Why is that funny?
Because it's so random and specific. Anything you said is funny. Anything you said is funny. But it's also one-off. They haven't got anyone in mind. And there's been about 9 members of Bananarama. Narrow it down a bit. No, come on. Which one of Bananarama?
God, I don't know what they're called. It was the darker one. The dark-haired one.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
Next one.
What if I had that? The darker one in Bananarama.
All right.
Well, remember, you got to write it down.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to
Sorry.
Carl's favourite book.
Oh,
Okay, now.
you know this?
Well, but are we talking novel, fiction, or what?
I think we're talking any.
Just a book.
Any book. Like if you had to take one book to a desert island What would it be?
You know, I don't know why you're not writing it out.
Well, shut up.
Fucking hell, are we mates or what? You should know what that is.
What, your favourite book?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm thinking of an answer I don't want to embarrass you with. A book of freaks that he carried around for 6 months.
What's that?
Oh, there, you're joking. That's your favourite book. It was a pamphlet.
It wasn't a pamphlet, it was about 40 odd pages. It's my
It
favourite
was the
book.
50 top freaks given away with some dodgy old fucking magazine.
It was with FHM. And it was like a freak book. That was interesting.
And you count that as a book?
Well, what would you put then? I've never seen you with a proper book, ever. So don't start lying and give me a load of old shite that it's someone like Nurture or something. 'Cause it isn't.
Nurture.
What book would you pick?
Friedrich Nurture. What?
No, you're right. He was right in a way. It's a
Yeah,
freak book.
Book of Freaks.
Let's go for the pad. Let's go for
50
the
top.
do
Oh,
the
no, I
pad.
got that. 50 top freaks. No, about it. 50 top freaks. Yeah.
Carl,
Do you know what? Do you know why we liked it? Because number 50 was a fellow with 3 legs. He was so
No,
excited.
there was
he went-
loads.
Huh?
No, number 50 was the bloke with 2 heads.
Was it?
Yeah, because I said Jesus. What's number 1?
Yeah. What was that? Was a bloke shagging a chicken who got killed
Number
by a
1.
rock. Oh, wonderful.
When you were talking just now about like the gay stuff,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if you saw the thing the other week about the fella who's on that quiz show.
Oh.
Sort of
Oh, right, okay.
gay
Who?
fella, straight, sort of man, woman.
What are you talking about? Tell me what did you see? Tell me what you saw.
It's
This is like a kid come running in, and he's seeing something frightening. Could be an alien, could be a ghost, could be a paedophile, and you've got to get exactly what actually saw out of him. Right, what did you actually see?
It's just this fella who's a woman.
Right. Right, okay, right, try and talk like a human being. Right.
It's a quiz show that's coming on the telly, and it's this woman.
Right, is it a fella who's a woman, or is it a woman?
Bit of both. That's why I'm talking about it.
But what do you mean? Is it a pre-op? Is it a transsexual? A transvestite? Is it a lady boy? Is it an hermaphrodite? What is
I'll tell
it?
you about it.
Well, tell me.
I'm telling you. It's a woman. Well, it's a man.
Oh,
No,
forget
listen,
it.
listen.
Play record.
No, listen.
come on.
What?
It is a man. He is a man. Well,
Oh, Christ's sake!
it's a TV program where they've got this man who's
Transvestite or television?
It is a transvestite, yeah.
So-
But the problem is, I'll tell you just because you don't know about it. The program is.
I don't know. I still don't know about it. I don't know anything about it. Still, I don't know. It's a woman, man, woman, man, woman, TV program. Look, TV.
No, it's a man who is now sort of half a woman. And
A man who is now half a woman.
no, well, this is what's weird about it. He's got the top half, but not the bottom half.
What do you
sorted
mean?
out.
He's got breasts and a wig, but he's still got his boys downstairs. He's
Why
got
do you do that?
his caps and the boys
Why
are
do you do
still
that
there
for?
in his wife fronts.
Why is
But
that?
upstairs, he's got a lovely pair of dumplings.
Why do that?
Well, he's halfway through.
But why not get it all done in one go?
Maybe you couldn't afford it.
Well, wait until you've got all the money. That just looks a mess. And who's he pleasing there?
When he wakes up in the morning and
everyone.
pleases himself, he can't believe his luck. He doesn't know where to start.
No, but what I don't understand, I mean, I don't want to see him.
Well, can I just
see him
finish that
ignorant.
sentence? What you don't understand is just about everything.
Yeah.
Right. What?
I find it weird, right? I sort of get, I understand the gay thing, right? But,
Do you? What do you mean?
well, you know, I know.
Well,
I
tell
know,
me the gay thing. Explain the
well,
gay
I
thing.
just know if you're a fella, you like men. I don't know much more than that.
What do you mean you don't know?
But what I mean is, with a transvestite, what's going on there? What do they want?
Now, transvestite is a cross-dresser.
See, I don't get that either. Because
You mean a
That's somebody,
transsexual?
that's a man who likes to dress in women's clothing. It's not necessarily, they're not necessarily gay.
They're
or
not gay.
straight
They're
or
often
anything.
not gay.
They just happen to like wearing women's
Those clothes, aren't yeah.
but then why not wear women's clothes that could be seen as a bloke, like Suzanne wears jeans?
No, but they
Just
but that's
buy
the
women's
thing.
jeans.
But that's their problem, is it? They like being seen as a woman. They like being seen as a woman. It's not just that it's more comfortable or they wear a kilt. They like being seen as a woman. They feel more comfortable.
Alright, and what's the deal with this fella who's got...
We don't know
both?
who this fella is.
No. We don't know this man who's half a woman.
He's called Miriam.
Oh, that's helped.
yeah, okay. Brilliant. I love this scientific basis.
No, I
So
think-
all he's done, he's had the tits done, he's probably had the hormones, probably lived as a woman for a while. The last step, because you can probably reverse the breasts anyway, because they're probably implants and hormonal things, and whereas you chop your knob and, boys off, that's, you come back the next day and go, sorry, I didn't mean that, I wanted my ears pierced. It's a bit more of a bigger operation to put them back. So, doctors are probably making sure that he's just up
Surely
to...
if you've had the top half done, you're not going to go back on what you've said.
But no, what's the top half being done? I could get you breast implants, give you a bit of hormonal treatment.
Now
and
that
you
would be a great idea for next week.
and you could reverse it. What you can't do is grow a knob back.
Well, you can. Last week we were talking about growing one on your arm.
Yeah.
We've done that.
So that is possible. But the thing is, the truth of it is, I think I do know about this story. I think it was a television programme called There's Something About Miriam. The conceit of which was that this pre-op transsexual...
So I guessed that right, yeah.
Was masquerading as a woman.
Right.
And various blokes, who didn't realise that this was a man, had to,
I've heard
try
about
and
this.
seduce her. And when they found out that it was actually a bloke, and a lot of them had kissed,
I agree.
her, they refused to let it be shown.
I
and there was a big
agree
outrage
though.
and so on.
That's just terrible.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, it's
deceit.
absurd.
But I mean, that's awful. Yeah, I heard it. I hated that. Right, there you go. Let's do Rockbusters.
Right,
Email only, of course.
Yeah, yeah. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you know the answer. Right, first one. Bit of a cryptic clue if you haven't heard it before.
Well, not cryptic, we're wrong. What is Carl thinking?
If you go into France by boat, I'd get your fags on there because it's a lot cheaper.
Imagine Bob Holness. Sorry, we're out of time. Sorry, your minute's up. You've won nothing. I was reading that question out.
Sorry,
Right.
so what's the...
Well, let's do it again, and I want it to be exactly the same, word perfect. I bet you it will change all over the place. It'll be different. He's lost it.
Go to France, buy yourself a boat and the fags are cheaper.
Okay, fingers on the buzzers. You've only got 10 seconds to win the gold run. Okay, first up. Here, I'll tell you what, no, seriously, if you're thinking of going to France, well don't, because go on the ferry, get the fags there, because it's cheaper. Go on.
Right, so that one again. If you want to buy some fags, you're going over to France on a boat, get them on there because you'll save a few quid. BF.
BF.
Right? BF.
Okay.
Right, the second one. This little, foreign cafe's growing its own steak.
This little foreign cafe is growing its own steak.
Yeah. This little foreign cafe's growing its own steak.
Go on.
D.
Alright.
Right?
Okay.
And the last one,
Is that part of it?
hang on.
He's the best, isn't he? He's the best.
The Jamaican fella might have screamed this on the Titanic.
What?
The Jamaican fellow might have screamed this on the Titanic.
Yeah.
What's it start with?
It's, CD, that one.
Jamaican fellow might have screamed this on the Titanic. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Please don't phone in. If you can get those, we just don't want to talk to you.
We'll get Rockbusters out of the way. Have we got a winner?
Yeah, come on in. See, it worries me that we've had very few entries. I think that even your mental fans aren't getting these, which is really worrying. They must be terrible clues this week.
Alright, well,
Has anyone got them right, Steve?
I think there's just one guy, yeah, who I suspect has won in the past. but
Well,
there we are.
so what?
right, the first one. If you go out of France by boat, you might as well buy your fags when you're on that, because you'll get them a lot cheaper.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah.
BF,
Yeah.
buy it ferry. Right? That's like,
What?
buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on
What's Brian Ferry? What's that? Is that a band?
What?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry? What's that got to do with buying on a ferry, though?
Just because it's quite close to it. Buy on, buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on ferry.
Sorry, what?
That's the
What's your
first one.
first language?
The second one.
That's rubbish. That doesn't count.
No,
Brian,
it's not.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry, buy on ferry.
There's this little foreign cafe.
Yeah.
It's growing its own steak. That's Delamitri. The third one.
What? Sorry, what? What? What is that? What is that? Delamitri.
Deli is a little foreign cafe.
Yeah?
A meat tree and that.
A meat tree? A meat tree? What were the initials for that?
Just D for that.
Just D for that?
Yeah.
So not DA?
So you didn't even give him a chance to get the group?
Oh, they got it.
Well, no.
No, they didn't. Right, it's the end. Go on, right. Go on.
Deli meat tree?
Deli meat tree. One word. D. Or any letter.
They're growing their own meat.
M's in it. Go on. Okay, so Bayern, I love Bayern Ferry. And Oxy Music was brilliant. I love Oxy Music. Go on.
Can I just point out, Rick, that, we've had
David Bowie?
Deli meat tree.
Yeah.
I don't see why, necessarily, Aidan, who, emailed in, why he doesn't get to win, because he emailed in dire steaks. Seems to me just as valid, as far as I can tell, but Deli meat tree it is.
And the last one, if there was a Jamaican fella on the Titanic...
I'm looking forward to this. With a little bit of fear.
Jamaican fella, if he was on the Titanic, he probably would have screamed this.
Yeah.
That's Christ de Burgh.
Oh! I don't know what to do. Stunning.
So who's the winner?
I'm not going to give it to anyone. What's
the Jamaican bit got to do with it?
Just the D. Just Christ de Burgh.
Say it again?
No, I think they've worked it out now.
What do I say again?
Christ de Burgh.
And who's that?
What?
Who's that?
Who's what?
Who's Christ de Burgh?
Chris de Burgh. Who's the winner, Steve?
Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Aidan. Because he just treated you with nothing but contempt. Steve Martin, emailed in again. He got the first two, and then the last one he just emailed, I neither know nor care about this answer. I'm tempted to give him
Do you know what you've done there, don't you?
Go on.
You've put the nail in the coffin of, Rockbusters. I warned you for 3 weeks, and you sort of bucked your ideas up for a little while. But Christ de Burgh...
Those are the worst you've ever done.
The worst, Delamitri, so, and didn't just put D, and then Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry.
So, is that it then? Aren't we doing it
Play
anymore?
record.
Aren't we doing it anymore?
I'm ashamed.
You're an idiot.
Are we doing it anymore?
I'm just gonna keep saying you're an idiot.
Play a
are
record.
we doing
Carl,
it
have
anymore?
you learnt nothing from Dr. Fox?
Yeah.
That's not a Sony out the window.
Huh?
Aren't we doing it anymore?
What, you need to start working on it now, because they're so good, you need to start working now for next Saturday.
Aren't we doing it anymore?
Just, I don't know.
No.
So those are your little quick ones, then we get on to your big
to the
three,
bigger
don't we?
ones.
The big one.
Yeah,
Should we
if
play
you
a
want.
record and come back to that?
I know what you want.
Right, what other things you want?
Yes, sir.
101.
Other than us.
Spiders.
Right, go on.
I know Ricky will be agreeing with this.
Yeah, all spiders, yeah.
I mean, not all spiders, because there's some spiders that are on the planet that don't do any harm. They clean up stuff, don't they?
Well, I got little brushes.
Do you mean
like
janitors spiders?
yeah.
No, there's some that, you know,
Hong Kong leggy.
just get on with stuff. But I'm talking about the spiders that are deadly. And spiders that are massive. I mean, Johnny's mate, Ricky's mate, Johnny, I mean.
Yeah.
He was talking about how, he was in Australia.
Yeah.
And he was sharing a room with a mate or whatever. And his mate was having a shower. And said, Johnny, just come in here a minute. And he went in, and there was a spider on the side of the bath that he said was the size of your hand.
2 hands width. It's sort of like a size track, just like 8 inches across.
That big, right? And the daft thing with that one is that can't kill you. It's massive. It's got no purpose.
It's a huntsman.
Yeah, but what? Something he said it does, right? If you sort of walk around it and it thinks you're going to try and trap it, it hisses at you
And jumps at you.
and jumps on you, and sort of clings on. So
That's terrifying.
You'd be sort of running around trying to get it off, and it's just gripping on like the old stag beetle thing again.
Yeah.
It's clinging on to you. But there is no... What I don't understand is, why is that spider that big? Right. Because no doubt it only eats stuff like normal spiders do, but it needs to eat more of them because it's a bigger lad. Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually do anything. It's not like I just don't
Doesn't
get
create,
it.
doesn't paint, doesn't do it. Yeah.
It's just getting in the way, and it's one of those things that are so big you couldn't kill it. Because can you imagine like the mess that would make something that size if you stamped on it?
Yeah.
Which I'm not, again, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
But I don't get that. And then there was a programme on a few weeks ago on BBC about spiders. And there was this one, right, it was going, there's so many spiders in the world, and apparently there's so many of them, they can't give them all names, right? What they're saying is, once one dies out, they'll actually introduce another one. Because there's so many different breeds of them, that it's impossible to sort of make a book and list them all.
Right.
What,
It's
the
like
book
a
would be
queue.
infinitely long.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a queue. They
They're
say,
not
right,
trying to name it individually, are they?
No.
That's their problem.
No,
Yeah,
seriously.
yeah. Just keep it down to the
Ziggy.
species. Go on.
This is true.
Go on then, yeah.
So they'll sort of go gives a spider, the Black Widow, right? Black Widow, they've all died, so who's next? And they'll say, here's a redback.
Yeah.
And that's how they introduce them. So this programme was going on about this. Right?
Oh, how they do it.
No, they do it.
Okay, your point
Okay,
being.
alright.
Right, so anyway, there's this little one, right, in Australia, and it shows you some kids being dead happy and playing around in the sun, loving it, all healthy and that, and, love being in the sun. They're playing around the pool, and, there's a couple of them there playing swing ball and that, dead happy, not a care in the world. And, like, the one of them goes, I'll go swimming, because I've been playing swing ball for an hour, got a bit of a sweat.
Sure.
Go for a little breaststroke or whatever. And they get in the pool, and they can't wait to have a swim about. And then it pans to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
And there's this little spider just sat there dead still. Right? Sat at the bottom of the pool holding its breath.
Holding its breath!
Okay.
Cheeks going up red, eyes bulging.
yeah.
Oh, 8 pairs of goggles on.
One goes by with a snorkel. You should have thought of this.
4 pairs of flippers.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's sat there in the deep end, right? And and then it pans back to the kids having a good time, chucking a ball to each other.
I can see what's going to happen here.
And it pans back.
It's not going to join in the game, is it?
No.
And what happens is, the kid starts bouncing up and down on the floor.
Sure.
Goes and sticks the kid goes and puts a foot on the spider. Bites the kid, and apparently, if you're not seen to, you can be dead in 15 minutes.
Sorry, why did this spider sit at the bottom of the pool?
That's what it likes to do.
Animals don't do things they like to do. Animals do things for a reason.
Waiting for a kid to come along. So
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
well, that's what
It's
it
not.
does.
It's not. It doesn't go out to murder kids. That's not. That's not what it does.
No, there must be a reason. I mean, if you just stopped when you watch these programs and don't get involved with the music and the odd, why does it sit at the bottom of the pool? There must be a reason. It either goes there for protection, food, to cool. It does it for a reason. It doesn't go there to wind up swimmers.
Yeah.
There must be a reason. This is it. If anyone's watching, please, if you're watching that program, I don't know about this spider. What's the name of the spider?
I'm not sure. Well,
Okay.
it did say-
08700 800 123.
Is it the Duncan Goodhue?
Is it Paul?
I mean, I don't know, maybe it does go into other things like ponds and that, and maybe it does the same for ducks if a duck stands on it.
But why? The duck stands on it!
Why?
Oh, I love your brain.
Probably because eventually, a kid can get, like, saved if it's seen to in 15 minutes, but a duck is just gonna, like, wander around and go, God, I don't feel well and what have you.
What good is that to the spider?
Because...
No, I'm saying it might kill it if it might protect itself, but it must be in the pond for a reason in the first place, or the swimming pool. It must be down there for a reason. It must have another agenda, evolutionary wise. It can't just do it.
Could it be in training for the Olympics?
Unless it is just cooling. Like those, because on one of the other programmes that's a bit mental,
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
The one with the lizards. Did I tell you
Right,
that?
let's not get into lizards. This could
Okay,
take.
no, go on quickly.
No, this is a good one. It was a programme, BBC programme again, on how insects and animals help each other out.
Yeah.
Right? They were saying how, you might think they're an insect, but they think like humans do.
Yeah.
And they all help each other out. Right? And there was this lizard that is running about in the desert, right? And it's going, God, it's roasting. And what it does, it makes a little hole in the sand, and it goes under the ground and it cools down, right?
Yeah.
And then you see one of the locals, I think it was in Egypt or something, and the Egypt bloke comes walking along,
Egypt bloke.
and
Is he walking like an Egypt bloke?
Walk like an Egypt bloke.
and what he does, right, he's looking out for these holes in the ground.
Sure.
And he sticks his hand in.
Yeah.
And
Why does he want the lizard?
he makes shoes and stuff out of it.
Okay.
Right? And you see him
Cobblers.
walking around, he's got about 12 of these things in a basket on his back, and they're
Yeah.
all looking really fed up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's dead hot, and they can't be bothered trying to escape, and they look really fed up. And this bloke's laughing, you know, he's collecting loads.
I love how he watches this, like, because they sort of editorialise it and make it into, like, some
Exactly.
sort of, like, evil play.
But then it was saying how this deadly scorpion that man is scared of is mates with the lizard. And the reason is that the scorpion goes into the hole, right? It can't dig its own hole because its arms are that big and it's awkward for it to dig a proper hole.
Sure.
So what it does, it goes into the little den that the lizard's made, right? And whilst the lizard's having a kip, the scorpion says, "Tell you what, I'll do you a deal. You have a kip, I'll walk up and down this hole here and sort of scare away any people." So the lizard's like, "Yeah, all right then, fair enough." Because the scorpion wants a little hole to keep out of the sun. The lizard wants a kip. They've done themselves a little deal. The Egyptian bloke comes walking along, sticks his hand in the hole.
Yeah.
He thinks he's just going to get a lizard. Scorpion stings him. He runs off, drops the basket. All the lizards go running off.
I love the fact that that is what always happens. They filmed that just by chance, and that's what always happens. I like the fact that the Egyptian bloke has done this every day. He does it. He goes, "Well, okay, I've got all these lizards. I'll just go to this hole again.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got that lizard yet.
Yeah.
This will be fine."
No, I just think.
And
yeah.
when the lizard and the scorpion make that deal, and he says you have a kip, and the other one does it, do they talk in Egypt or? I mean,
They talk
how
Egypt
do they
bloke.
how do they discuss?
They talk Egypt bloke or
this?
English bloke.
What language do they use, Carl?
No, it's the international language of love.
But spiders is what you're putting in Room 101.
Spiders.
Let's go back to that.
Spiders. So spiders
So
that.
basically, spiders that have got the poison to kill a man.
Because Rick, I know, because
Okay.
but Rick, I know
what
you're.
about the ones that are just too big for their own good? All those
I
are
don't understand that either.
But Rick, you're scared of all spiders, aren't you?
Yeah.
Even the little tiny ones you
I
find.
don't
in your
like
house.
any spiders. Yeah.
Is your husband afraid of them as well? Or? Yes, it does. It fails to mention any disasters in London because we haven't had any. But it doesn't mention any. It doesn't mention any world events. It doesn't mention wars in Iraq,
But I don't
terrorism.
need
It doesn't
to
mention
now.
anything.
But that's all being wrote about anyway. If you're saying there's a museum that's keeping everything, there's loads of other books for that. Who's looking at the fella whose skulls fell off?
What?
We see. It's interesting, isn't it?
What do you mean the fellow whose skulls fell off?
Well, that's what happened the other week, so I wrote about it.
What?
A fella's skull has fell off.
What do you mean his skull has fell off?
It's something to do with circulation.
But what do you mean his skull fell
Well,
off?
it's in the diary. We
But
might
how
look
can
at
a
the diary.
skull fall off? Because it's surrounded by tissue and it's got a brain. How can just his skull? How can it detach itself from all the stuff surrounding
He
it?
mislaid all his dreams.
But all I'm saying is that's not getting a look in.
No, because it's not significant or probably true.
Good point, Steve.
I don't.
All
know
right. Well,
what's
let me
anything
just.
based on.
I'll just consult the diary quickly and find the moment with the man whose skull fell off. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Looks like the world's fattest man is having an operation to get rid of some of the fat. He has to have an iron bed because that's the only thing that can hold his weight. There's also a man whose skull has fell out. He's in hospital somewhere. I hate that. It would make me panic. The hospital is busy with people coming in to look at the head.
What are you talking about there? That tells us nothing. Right, it's impossible for a skull to fall out.
How are scholars in 10,000 years going to be... What are they going to decipher from that?
They can sort of.
There's
go,
not enough incident detail.
But how did his skull fall out?
circulation problems.
But answer the question. How did his skull fall out? Fall out of what?
He was at home, and I don't know if he was combing his hair or something, but it come off.
What did?
His skull.
What do you mean, his skull? Do you know what the skull is?
It's a part of the head.
Well, no, it's the structure of the head. It's the bone. Do you mean the top of the skull?
This is only useful if you have all the salient facts. Then it would be of interest to us. We could.
Well, I couldn't take that on. I'm busy. I'm not going to start looking into stuff in depth. Just get the details.
God. You're such an idiot.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. That was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? right? Relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It's over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, you know, she's quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco. And they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on. And I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be dealing with this, right? You know, what's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out. I said, it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, you know. I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's 2 7-year-olds. Yeah, you're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, leave it.
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
2 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like, because, you know, he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there.
Yeah.
I accidentally, you know, sort of chipped his tooth on a sink. Right?
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? 2 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that happened. What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It's like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
Like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks
a
and
little bit
headlocks?
of wrestling and shoving about and that. And it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down and his tooth hit the sink.
Right.
And it chipped and what have you. After that, like, I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly. And there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, you know, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right? So sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh, God, there's a copper here talking, and like, my mate's going to come in a minute, like, with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
That's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said you'll never take me alive, copper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
I had another email here. This is they haven't given their name actually, but it's an interesting fact. I'm hoping it's true. America's first nudist organisation apparently was founded in 1929 by 3 men. Now, what intrigued me when I read that is the fact that it's clearly 3 blokes just trying to meet some nude women.
They're all 52 balding.
Exactly.
With little, sort of those gold rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just wandering around, and it's all quite saggy down there, and they're just knocking on doors saying, we just set up an organisation, it's perfectly above board, completely legitimate, it's a nudist organisation. You got any women in there that want to come and join us? We've got any female members at the moment. Got any women in there interested in, you know, volleyball or trampoline?
I can't be doing with it, me.
You hate nudists, don't you?
Nudists. I don't understand what it's all about at the end of the day. And here's something, right? Do you know, like, when you're a bloke nudist, right? Do you ever get any who just have, like, a small knob?
I don't know, I don't understand the question.
What's that? What's your point?
Well, you know, are there any blokes who are knocking about who just have a normal-sized knob, or maybe a bit smaller than normal, who are happy wandering about showing off what they haven't got, if you know what I mean?
I don't think nudists are just doing it because they're so proud of their knob.
No, but there's got to be a little bit of that in it, isn't there?
Why?
Say like, you know, Jonathan Ross, right? He's nipped to see you now and again and what have you.
He's what?
He sort of nipped in to see you now and again. He's always happy getting his knob out because he's known to have this big knob, right?
What do you mean he's
showing
known?
it off.
Why is Jonathan Ross known to have this big knob?
No, he just talks about it a lot, doesn't he? He's always saying about, oh, you know, but you'd like this, wouldn't you? And all
But that's
that.
like me. I'm known for being a great lover. I say it a lot. It's clearly not the case. What
Yeah,
evidence
but-
have you got that he's got a big?
No,
knob?
but the difference is he's happy to keep getting it out. It's different, sort of me walking about going, oh, I've got a big one and all that, and then but no one ever sees it. But Jonathan sort of he's always getting it out, isn't he?
Have you seen him get it out before?
I saw. Well, he did get it out, but I wasn't looking.
What do you mean you weren't looking? How do you know it was out?
Just because he sort of was moving it about and that, and I could sort of
So
see.
you-
No, I wasn't looking though. It was
But-
that is that sort of thing where you can see something moving about, but you're like, I'm not looking at it.
What, like an owl seeing a mouse?
It
At,
just,
like.
what I mean, it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is,
So no, let's get back to this. You remembering vividly Jonathan Ross's penis?
no.
Yes.
What, I don't mean that. What I
But
mean,
why were you looking at his penis?
I wasn't looking though.
Well,
I'm
it was
just saying-
clearly not meant to be looked at.
I'm just saying, most blokes who, you know, nudists, they must be pretty confident in themselves to, you know, getting it out. And I wasn't looking. It's just that. I mean, I looked once.
Okay. What was it like?
What? Sorry, you looked at Jonathan's once.
No,
or-
no,
Yeah.
I was looking at another one.
What?
At the same
why,
time?
No,
why
no.
are you looking at loads
No.
of men's
What's
penises?
going on? Where are you
Because
hanging
it's
out?
natural.
this?
It's natural. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? This
As a
is
bloke-
Carl takes a sneaky look at
No, no.
menscocks.com.
No.
Right, one more chance. What's happened in the last couple of weeks? Just one more chance to. What have you seen in the last couple of weeks?
Well, like I say, I don't really watch the news and that, so
Right.
I can't tell them about that. But in a way, I think they're better off not knowing. I think that's the only good thing about being out there, isn't it? Not knowing about the bad stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I can't help them there.
They don't need to look at the weather, do they?
No, don't even. No. But tell you about the Pope and that.
Yeah, you've pretty extensive.
What about the EU Constitution and the no votes? What do you make of that? What are your views?
What's the problem there?
Oh, this isn't. This
No, but it's
isn't,
better- it's
this
better
isn't
not knowing.
broadcasting,
It's
though,
better
is
not
it? This is
knowing.
nothing. Come up with something.
Well, the fat
Talk.
baby then, the fat baby that they found, that was on the telly.
Right. Well, what was that?
It's just a little fat baby. That,
Oh, for
I don't know what, it's just a little fat kid and that.
what? Tell what?
It was
What
on
is?
the telly, it was on the telly and
But
that.
what was on the telly? You just said fat baby, fat baby, fat baby, fat baby on telly, fat baby on telly. Do you meant to be telling them what's happened in the world? Tell me about the fat baby on telly.
It's just they've found some, there's this illness called Momo, right? And, they've just got this woman had a kid. It's really sad, it was on Channel 4 and that, right? And, kid's born.
You sure it wasn't Jimmy Carr?
Kid's born and that, right?
Momo?
It's called Momo,
Isn't that
yeah.
that Black Music Award?
No, right, little fat baby and that, and there's only 3 of them in the world. These little fat babies,
Right.
and
So
one of them,
they're in danger.
How fat? Are you not telling what do you mean? How fat are they?
6 stone it was only 2. And there's 3 of them in the world, and there was this one, and there was one in Brazil.
Are they like
No.
endangered? Is that the problem? Because there's only 3 of them in the world.
I
I'm a bit
don't know.
worried. This is like a conservation campaign.
Hunted for their flesh.
No, it's sad. I know, it's easy to
You shouldn't
joke and
have,
that,
but
but if
you
you've
can make
seen
an
it, you just
interesting
go, oh, it's a
handbag.
bit sad and that. See, there's always other things going on in my mind when I'm in that pub quiz. For me, it's just a little bit of fun.
Sure.
It's a night out. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Suzanne enjoys it.
Yeah.
Bit of a get together. We have a chat beforehand.
Yeah.
We have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
But there was other things on my mind.
What were you
Carl,
thinking?
I could do that here. I don't
No,
have to
wait.
lose a tenner.
Wait, what were you thinking during the quiz then, when the questions were coming out? What were you thinking of?
Well, what it was, right, just before the quiz started, I had to go to the toilet, right, because the rule is, right, people who don't go to it, once it starts, phones off,
Oh, yeah,
no
you
more
can't leave
toilet.
the room,
They
yeah.
take it dead serious, don't
yeah,
they, right?
yeah.
So, I went to the toilet. Now, I'm not being out of order here, it just got me thinking, right? I went to the toilet, the gay fella in there, right?
There was a gay fella in there.
Gay fella in the toilet. Now,
How could you
know?
tell?
How did you know?
just typical, you know, everything about it, right?
It!
Everything about it, right, yeah.
Oh.
What,
Just
large
budget-
handlebar moustache,
What-
leather
what-
cap.
Butt plugs, amyl nitrate. Could I just say that
these views do not reflect the views of the management of XFM or me and Steve.
Or most of the people in this country.
Go on, Carl. What's your problem?
Yeah, but this is what I'm worried about, really. But this is why I only got Danny Minogue right. Right? Because this was floating around my mind. Went
She's
to
a
the
big
toilet.
gal icon,
Now,
isn't she?
go into the toilet. They have like men's cubicle and they have women's cubicle.
Yeah.
Now, without sounding out of order, is it wrong for me to think gay men should have their own little cubicle?
Call in!
They should have their own. Well, not cubicle. You mean an actual toilet, I suppose.
When I was at the urinal,
Yeah.
normally, you know, there's a fella there, and you go, all right, and there's no pressure. But I couldn't go. I was thinking, should I wait? If I go into the toilet, it'll look obvious.
Yeah.
I had loads of pressure, and
But
this was
what were
going
you
on.
worried about?
I'm so sorry.
What were you concerned about?
Viewers? I'm so
Well,
sorry.
it's like, right, listen, when I was a kid, right, and it's alright for you to go into women's toilets when you're a kid, it's like, oh, it's a bit cute, right, as long as you're not, like, over 15 or something, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, I went into a toilet, and women, when they use their little cubicles, they don't shut the door. Some of them just sit down on the toilet,
Yeah.
right, and you see everything, and, no, seriously, that's probably one of the first times I saw, like, a woman.
Yeah.
That, right, and my Auntie Nora when she was staying over.
What happened with your Auntie Nora?
She was, she's into wearing caftans.
Into wearing what?
You know, caftans.
Oh, yeah.
What caftans?
Big, bellowy sort of dresses.
Right,
or-
right.
And, yeah, I used to sit on the floor at home, in front of the telly.
Sure.
She was on the chair behind.
Yeah.
She did a bit of a, sort of a Sharon Stone scene.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
There was no underwear.
No.
What age were you?
What was it like?
What age were
It
you?
was like a ripped tennis ball. So.
What? Right, we're off air. We're off air. Either that or put us in for the Sonys.
Tell us about this monkey, Carl.
You're gonna love this one, Steve,
Go on.
right? Yeah, so last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy, right?
No.
Leave it there, Rick. We haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened, he lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
what happened. That's what happened.
looked into, some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that.
Yeah.
Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo,
Oh, dear.
right? So,
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So, anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that ape is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. Is it dangerous?
What do you mean? What type was it? What, do you
Just
mean it was
let
a
him tell the
Was it
story.
a chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
I
was a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It
that's
was a
an
chimp.
ape.
It was a chimp.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's the
gets
story.
pally with him.
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
did they
and
go on
he's-
holiday together?
Well, no, I mean, it starts
On the
off,
pool together.
starts off just checking each other out and, you know, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while, you know, they're getting on well on that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you, so he thinks he could live at home with me, this,
Yeah.
because we're getting on a storm,
Yeah.
right? So he takes him home, and before
Is this
you know
the
it,
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
right? So
Go on.
anyway, so it's moving in, and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. It's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. PG tips.
As it finishes the day off with
Oh, dear.
Finishes the day off with what?
It
with
does-
a
it doesn't
little
have him
brandy.
move a piano at one point,
He
does he?
finishes the day off with a little brandy.
Yeah.
What, he pours himself a... Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Carl. You're
Listen,
a maniac,
listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is
Becomes
hairless,
hairless.
right? Apart from his head, right? So he's got a
Right,
nice.
so it's the opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah,
this is what
well,
I'm saying,
Oh,
that would happen.
right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if it's
How
dyed?
did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
All right,
can
well,
see if
okay,
I've gone
keep
wrong.
going, keep
So
going.
anyway, so
Wow.
so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying,
Well,
he's
it
got
gets
his
to a
other
point when he
shipmates
says,
round.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo, because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
Let me. I'm fascinated.
it's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary. Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, Steve.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well known.
So what about that?
Wait, what do you mean, what about it, Carl? It's obviously not true. It's obviously not true.
This wasn't on the internet. This was in a book. So it's not a quick joke and just put it on a website. This is in a book.
I don't understand how the
I
monkey-
love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he, that
What
is-
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
But what would he be doing,
I love
Carl?
the fact that-
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing Trivia Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Carl, play a record.
Right.
A fella on the plane was reading Koi Mag. It was a fishing magazine. I glanced over and noticed he was reading the Pond of the Month article. Don't think they could make it into a weekly magazine. Well, to be fair to you, because I remember seeing a guy on the train once reading Carp Monthly, a magazine dedicated entirely to carp, and it had Carp of the Month. And I just thought, once you're like 3 months in, the editor must be stressing, have we got any more carp? We got a carp that's actually done anything?
I reckon if they used the same one twice, there wouldn't be many complaints.
No one would be noticing.
No, that's the carp they used 2 years ago.
There was a really fat bloke on the plane. He was playing on his PSP. While I waited to go to the toilet, I looked at what game he was playing. It was darts. He's that fat and lazy, he can't even face playing a more active game on a games console. Me and Suzanne got off the coach along with a couple of old people. One of them was in a wheelchair. I don't think it was wise of them to come to a volcanic island with a wheelchair. Everywhere's pretty rough paving and slopey. Guess I'll keep an eye on it as the weeks go on. Day 2 in Gran Canaria.
Brilliant, we're only at day 2.
The hotel's a bit odd. I've never seen as many cross-eyed people in one location. That's enough, isn't it?
That's amazing!
Well, you may as well let me read on a bit more.
No,
okay?
this is amazing.
Well, look, come back.
This
to it
is a
later,
brilliant diary. This might be the best diary ever written. Oh.
While sat listening to the Kinks on my iPod, I wondered if everybody thinks in their accent. I know I do. What's this? What are you talking about?
Just that. When I've been sat there lying on the lounger, right, and I was thinking about stuff.
How do you know you think in your accent? Tell me a typical thought.
Because what I mean is, say if I was like, if I saw something, right? Do you know how I say like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, but
that was
I don't
being
have
said.
to. But when you think, I don't think the sentence is like I'm saying it. It's just a thought. The thought appears. It's conceptual and it's already there. It's not like I go, Rick, what? Just looking at that fellow over there, were you? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was thinking it was a bit weird. Oh, so was I. I don't think out whole sentences.
Whereas you have Carl, stop listening to the Kinks for a minute. Look over there. More cross-eyed people.
No, well that's that's
Is that how
kind
your
of-
mind works?
In a way, yeah. And
Brilliant.
that's when because I
That
thought
explains a lot.
It's great that he has to think about whole sentences.
that's weird, isn't it? Like I didn't think that's weird, isn't it? And I thought I actually think in my accent. And then I thought, does Stephen Hawking, does he, when he's doing his maths and that, is he? I don't know where he's from, so I don't know what his accent would be like.
I think he's from Kent or Cambridge or Oxford. Or
Right.
something.
So
So you think he might think in his
voice, in that voice,
his
box
computerised
thing.
voice?
Just wondered.
Had lunch inside today due to shite weather. Sat next to an old fella. Old men's ears and noses carry on growing as they get older. Suzanne noticed his fingers were fat too. Maybe they continue to grow. Suzanne didn't laugh when I said her arse had the same problem. Day 3, cloudy start to the day. Had pie and chips in a cafe. had a bit of an argument with Suzanne because I thought it was daft that we were paying for food when we were on an all-inclusive holiday. Changed my mind when I saw they sold pie, though. The cafe was called Tattoos. The fellow who owned it didn't have any tattoos. But we never saw his wife. Oh, brilliant. Had a drink in a bar. Everyone sat and watched one of the local cats lick its bollocks. It's the greatest holiday in the world! I've been entertainment in that town! Went back to the hotel and had a sleep before tea. I love the fact you're moaning about old people, but you're just as bad. You've done nothing so far! He's done nothing, he's got a hip! Oh, God. Woke up to news about ducks being badly treated. There was a really ugly one with bent legs. I'm gonna die! Why does he write this down? Oh, God. Oh. There is a fat bloke from Bolton who is in the pool as I write this. He's got a big tattoo on his back, but I can't work out what it is. ... He just got out of the pool and burped. You just felt like you had to keep us abreast of that. Everything's in the diary. I just seen it get to the point where you're going, breathed in, yeah, breathed out again. There was a big fat fella in the sea who kept his t-shirt on. If you're big and fat, is there more chance of you getting burnt because there's more of you on show? I asked Suzanne and she said she didn't know in that sort of not listening kind of way. I wanted to hang about to see if the fat bloke was going to get in the kayak, but Suzanne said we had to head back. Just let him waiting to see if he's going to capsize. We go home today, so we got up early to get the last bit of cloud.
No, it's just that it wasn't. It's not that sunny all the time. I mean, I was sat in weather that if it was like that here, there's no way to be sat in the garden. Yeah. But because you're on holiday, it's like, well, we've got to sit in it. Put your coat on.
So are you going to continue to write this diary? Every single day?
It's amazing. Keep this diary up. It's amazing.
No, I will keep it up, because what I find as well is, I think earlier on, before I went away, I think I did learn something, and because I wrote it down, I remembered it a bit better. So... What was that? I just was thinking then, I forgot it now, but but I remembered looking back at it and not having to read it all, because I remembered the end of it before I read it, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
In the week, I called Carl up. I said, how are you, mate? He went, not too bad. Now, as you know, his girlfriend's been away for ages, hasn't she? Yeah. Covering the World Cup, the African Nations Cup. She's a sports journalist.
Wow, yeah.
Alright, okay.
I love the fact you're thinking, what does that mean? Like, well, she's not much of a journalist, Rick, to be honest. I've read some of her stuff.
No, but she's not on air. She does stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of journalists do. You always want to make this, you're not going out with Kate Adie. That's what you want to make clear, isn't it? Yeah. Now, so she'd seen none of the meteoric rise of Carl as a broadcaster.
She's been away for the whole time since you've sort of become...
a wit.
Yeah.
A cult figure, to be honest. And he hadn't told her this, so, apparently he went home and she was sitting there, looking a bit grumpy. He went, alright, so yeah. She went, should we go out then? She went, I'm not sure I want to go out with an idiot. Right?
Oh no!
Yeah. Because, and she went, Loch Ness Monster, why don't you just think, of course the Loch Ness Monster lives in Loch Ness. And she was giving a bit of a hard time, and she went, that's why he said, that's why I didn't tell her, I didn't tell her really. Same thing happened when I was at school and I had to play drums in Little Donkey. I didn't tell my parents, right? But my dad turned up anyway, and what happened?
He,
How old were you, Carl?
Well, it was the school that I used to go to.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
So
yeah. You went. Well, you used to go to the school you used to go to.
No, but what I mean is, I didn't go to secondary, did I? So I missed a lot of that.
Sure.
But primary, I liked.
Oh.
It was all colouring in and stuff.
Yep.
And it was a Christmas play, and I managed to get a part in it. And,
did you audition?
No. Got a part in it, and I should have been playing the drums to the one about Kings. We
Three Kings.
Yeah. I was meant to be doing that, but Little Donkey came on, and it was one of those.
What do you mean came on?
That was like next up on the next song.
Right.
And it's one of them songs that you can't help sort of
tapping along to.
Yeah. Do you know, like if I was to go
yeah, you'd have to finish it with.
Yeah. Do you know that they actually send that into space?
Do they?
And
What, hoping that aliens will respond with that?
yeah, they do that because apparently it is one of them things that you can't help.
What, even if you're an alien life form?
Yeah.
They know that, do they?
But anyway,
What, because they watch Star Trek or something?
Hello. Knock, knock.
Yeah.
no, seriously.
Is it true, like, if you
Who's
say
there?
out, knock, knock into space, yeah, they have to say that.
Oggy, oggy, oggy. Ah,
You
that
do
is
this,
that
man.
is
You
great.
look into it. Seriously.
Look. Oh, hold on, what's something out there? What's a little green fella? That is great.
Yeah. So anyway,
That is
Little Donkey is like one of them tunes that you can't. And I was there, and I had the drumstick, and I thought, oh god,
The drumstick.
I could feel myself. And anyway,
Just wanting to do it, yeah.
I started going along and playing Little Donkey, which I wasn't meant to do, but it went down such a storm.
What, were there people like parents and that dozing off, and then suddenly they heard your version of Little Donkey, and they thought, wait a minute, now it's really picking up.
What do you mean?
I'm glad we paid £1.50 for this.
What do you mean it went down such a storm? I'm going, hold on, was it like when
People have
Ringo...
lighters in the air.
It was like when Ringo joined the Beatles, now going,
Yeah.
boo, Pete Best, but he went...
Yeah,
And I went, whoa! Oh,
No,
God.
but the teacher just said, oh, it went down really well, you can do that again tonight,
Right.
when you're in it again. But anyway, so my dad was there, and...
And you hadn't told him about this performance, so
no,
he
I
just
never
turned
did.
up off his own back.
I never took the letters home and stuff to,
No.
you know, show my mum and dad, because it just put me off. So, anyway, he turned up, don't know why, he must have heard from someone else's dad.
Yeah.
He turned up, and, he swore about me, which...
Did he?
I don't...
Can you,
What?
could you
Do you
use
think
a word
it's allowed
that's...
to be said? The word?
Of course it is.
Right. If you got a kid in the car or anything, you can turn it down now.
Yeah.
Right. But he said, there was a guy stood next to him with a camera, big video camera, filming it, and he said, yeah, film it, but try and avoid getting the twat in the hat in the shot, because I had one of those porters, you know, the little round pork pie hats on.
Right.
This is so
What?
sad.
What, was this a nativity play?
It was about Jesus and stuff.
Yeah, well, there was a porter there helping him with his
Of course
bags.
there was, I forgot.
I mean, Mary and
What,
Joseph,
managing
they
the
got
stable?
there. Yeah, because
Sure.
it was the hope, you know, because the inn was full.
Yes.
But I think the porter doubled up with the inn and the stable.
Right, that was nice.
So
of
he,
him.
yeah,
He
yeah,
carry bags over, yeah.
yeah. No, so yeah.
You're right though. I don't know why I was wearing one of them, but I was. And
And your father said that, and how did you know your father said that? Did
he
you
told
hear
me
it?
about it later.
Oh, he told you about it later?
Yeah, I was talking about stuff I'd done at school, and he said, "Oh God, remember that?" And I spoke to him the other day about it,
Right.
and yeah,
Oh, God.
shame.
So that was the end of your sort of drumming career, really? Because it could have been, I mean, you know, the audience loved it the night before.
Yeah.
You could have, like, been, like, who knows, a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
Have
that
you
is-
done any stuff?
I've never drummed. I wish I had, man. I wish I
But
had.
that is
That's a movie story, but
is that, and that's why you don't, and you don't tell, you still, your mum and dad don't know you on the radio,
No,
do
I
they?
think when they were down the other weekend, they had to come in. I just said, "Oh, I'll just go in and press the buttons."
Because they could listen on Sky Digital, couldn't they?
They could do.
But you wouldn't want that,
But
would you?
I don't want that.